Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. Just over the course of the weekend, East Coast Throwdown went down, and of course, being a big major tournament, lots of fighting game stuff and just fighting game goodness happened over the weekend. Although I do want to talk about specifically Street Fighter 6. And in the realm of Street Fighter 6, well, multiple things happened, really, including what it's going to be the main crux of the video, just talking about a trend that seems to be appearing. The old first to two versus first to three argument happened a lot on social media because there's quite a bit of upsets at East Coast Throwdown. Many favorites did not make it anywhere near as far as many people anticipated. But then again, as far as I'm concerned, Daigo made top 8, so everything's working as it needs to work. I'll never not be a Daigo fanboy. I'm not going to apologize for it. Also, just going by the gameplay you're seeing here, IDOM had like a legendary run through the course of the tournament. Due to the fact that IDOM lost early on in pools, and losers going forward means their overall run for the tournament was 14-2, making it all the way to grand finals against Itazan. And, well, Itazan did win. That's kind of why we're here for the video. But yeah, just a hell of a run, especially considering IDOM is sticking with Manon through hell or high water. Manon is not a strong tournament character, but thankfully IDOM is a very strong tournament player, which is definitely making up the deficit here. So now Itazan taking Zangief to grand finals and eventually winning East Coast Throwdown. There's a lot of reasons I'm a big fan of this. One, as someone who's getting up there myself, but still yet younger than Itazan, right? It's nice to see the old timers still being a threat. One of the true beauties of the genre of fighting games compared to other competitive esports, if you will, right, is there's no real aging out. This isn't a case like shooters where like you're 27, you're over the hill. In fighting games, you could be 40 years old and just getting started. Another thing is we got an all grappler grand finals. Imagine this, like what you're looking at, right? Grand finals of a major tournament and it's Zangief versus Manon. Your chances of going outside and seeing a unicorn are almost the same as seeing these two characters in a grand final of a major tournament. Now granted, Zangief's quite a bit better than Manon as a character, right? More of a chance, and that's actually kind of the point of the video here. So ever since season 2/year 2 of Street Fighter 6 started, Zangief did get some monstrous buffs, and to be fair, in successive patches he also got some nerfs as well. But even with those nerfs, he's still infinitely better off than he was in season 1. And the results are definitely showing this. East Coast Throwdown is a qualifier for the next Capcom Cup, right? So Itazan is taking Zangief to the Capcom Cup. And even in these early stages, we only have 4 players currently qualified for Capcom Cup, right? 2 of those might be bringing Zangief. We have Itazan, and also Mena RD might be bringing Zangief as well. Mena won Cream City Convergence, which was another premier event, and won with Zangief. Now you could argue, well, Mena is known to play multiple characters, right? So could be picking someone else, and yes, absolutely. But Mena also just won First Attack, which is a tournament happening at the same time as East Coast Throwdown, and also won the tournament with Zangief, going to grand finals with Zangief. So once again, 2 of the 4 people, 50% of the people qualified to go to Capcom Cup right now, probably are going to be playing Zangief. And also for First Attack, there was 3 Zangief players in top 8, so let that one sink in for you. We appear to be on the precipice of a Zangief renaissance. Zangief is once again, very seemingly, a viable tournament character. And if you're a viable tournament character, well, frankly, that means you're a pretty damn good character in the end, right? Doesn't necessarily mean you're top 1 or nothing. Zangief obviously has very defined flaws. But still, the results are kind of speaking for themselves now in a major way, right? Because we have multiple results to pull from. And multiple players at that. Not quite a one-off, say, a combo breaker when El Chicote won with Lily, which was a big, well, frankly, upset in a way, right? Also incredibly amazing, big fan. But then people running Twitter tell me, oh, Lily's actually one of the best characters in the game, and well, no. If she was, we'd probably be seeing some more Lily wins and Lily picks, right? But then, well, that's kind of where we're at with Zangief, right? He's starting to get the numbers, starting to get the results. Is Zangief one of the better characters in the game? And, well, just maybe. Once again, defined weaknesses, yes, absolutely, but overwhelming strengths. when he got those Season 2 buffs, man, he basically got an injection going on. You know, the good brother kind of injection in the back room for pro wrestlers, right? And it's been working for him. It's certainly not the first time, you know, in the competitive history of Street Fighter that Zangief sort of worked his way up the charts, right? He's been there multiple times in Street Fighter 4 and Vanilla, which a lot of people don't talk about, but the problem with Vanilla Street Fighter 4 was Zangief kind of clowned on just about everyone, but the problem was his two worst matches were Ryu and Sagat, who were the other two best characters in the game. And by the end of the game's life, Ultra Street Fighter 4, Zangief was in a very good place. And earlier on in the life of Street Fighter 5, Zangief was doing pretty alright. To the point where, this is what I'm worried for Street Fighter 6, he was penalized for doing alright. When you talk Street Fighter 5 and you talk Zangief, considering he did, you know, alright back in the day, earlier in the game's life, right? Zangief just didn't get nerfed. Zangief got crippled. Like, by the end of the game's life, like, Zangief was almost a joke character like Dan was supposed to be. In fact, to put a fine point on it, by the end of Street Fighter V's competitive life, I would absolutely argue Dan was a better character than Zangief was. And now in a roundabout way, that's kind of the point we're coming to, right? Street Fighter 4 was whatever. Esports, Capcom Esports wasn't quite what it was as it is now, right? Street Fighter 5 was what we were getting at. And Street Fighter 5 kind of got to the point where, like, big characters basically were not allowed to be a thing anymore. Like, recall some other characters that were terrors in their time, like Abigail and Birdie, right? And they both got dumpstered by the end of the game's life. In the purview of Capcom Esports, there's very much seems to be characters that they want to be good and popular, and characters that they do not. And sometimes if, you know, a character struggles against fate and gets too good, they get cast down just because they were good and nothing else. And it makes me wonder if Zangief, if this is his fate going in, right? Once again, we had the big year 2 buffs, and admittedly, Zangief got huge buffs for Season 2 of Street Fighter 6, and he's also been the most nerfed character since then. They gave him the really strong stand medium kick, they immediately reverted that change in the next patch. Then they also reverted the changes to knee hammer, so they had the idea and they're like, oh wait, actually he shouldn't have this. And then they went and like kind of nerfed his damage overall with the headbutt nerf. And the nerfs with the patches that we had were like the small baby patches, not like a gigantic patch, right? And it kind of leaves the wonder to worry of the next really major patch, maybe with my Shiranui sometime early next year. Will that just kind of cast Zangief back down again? They realize, oh, we gave him too much and now he has to be, you know, cast back down to immortal status again. I don't know. But history shows that's happened more than a few times. Zangief has very literally been shown in the past to be a victim of his own success. And basically, will they do it again? Always makes me wonder why they do it, because Zangief consistently is one of the most popular characters in all of Street Fighter history, regardless of the game. And it makes me just kind of worry that we're in the phase where we talk about a couple years from now, like, hey, remember when Zangief was good? Because a couple years from now, I don't know if that's going to be the case. And of course, characters like Lily, characters like Manon, I don't think they're going to be doing much better either. So basically, right now, I think we may very well be in Zangief's golden age in Street Fighter 6. He's good. He's definitely a hell of a lot better than he was at launch and last year. And he's starting to get results. As it stands currently, 50% of Capcom Cup qualified people are playing Zangief. And that is pretty damn cool. Although, Capcom Cup finals are a long ways away, and might be a balance patch in between then. Who knows if people will stick with Zangief by the time that happens if he gets hit with a hammer. I would love to see him stay strong going forward into the future. It's just something that, you know, modern, more esports focused era Capcom seems to be scared of, right? You know, there's been characters like Laura did very well for herself in Street Fighter 5, but the traditional big body grappler in the modern era has not done well for itself in Street Fighter. And in the rare moments they do get the shine, well, then they usually get their legs cut out from under them. So we'll see for Zangief. Basically, I'm just a really big fan. I love seeing Edizon winning with Zangief. It's been a long time since he's won like a major tournament. Despite how much people complain over the years, I've always found Zangief to be one of the more exciting characters to watch, you know, as a spectator in Street Fighter. And basically, hopefully he remains decent for a good while just yet. We'll see. But that's kind of the video for now. I'm just very excited to see Zangief, you know, putting in the results in a way. And I kind of fear that this might just be a moment in history, just to be remembered fondly in a YouTube video a couple of years from now, saying, hey, remember when? Time will tell, I guess. But my friends, that is the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Street Fighter.